All right, we're set up on another one. This is story of our lives. This is what we do. Big scaffolding setups on steep roofs to rebuild little chimneys. I just wanted to mention, man, if you don't have straddle braces, these straddle braces for scaffolding are just awesome to have. It just makes it easy. You can flip them upside down like this and they're out of your way, or you have them up here over the top. Man, look at this straddle brace. This thing is just clutch in this spot. I mean, a cross brace would never work here. So this setup's an 8 foot because I had to just miss that valley there. I get a little bit more room on this side, but yeah, so without that straddle brace, I can't get a brace on there, and it's just not the best setup. So the straddle brace. Let's take a look at the chimney. Okay. What can we see here? Look at this mortar. It's all just broken bond everywhere. It's not bonded very well. Somebody came up here with caulking and put a lot of caulking on that. And usually when you see that, you know it's leaking. So they've seen evidence of leaking. Obviously, there's getting a lot of water in it because it's split wide open. And that happens when the water stores in there and freezes in the wintertime and expands and it splits it wide open. So they probably had a water issue and they called the chimney sweep. The chimney sweep came and they said, you need a rain cap on here. And then they put the rain cap on. And this rain cap only fits over the flues, just barely. We need a minimum of 6 inches from here to the top of the rain cap, which I'm not sure we have that. So that might be affecting the draft overall. The other thing is this is just a really cheap, I think this is a high C rain cap, and they're kind of the cheapest, I think. And they have these little metal tabs here that just bend. They don't even have hardware to hold them together. You just put these tabs through and they bend together. Anyhow, I don't use high C rain caps. I don't care for them. The flange here is fixed and it doesn't pivot on a hinge and it doesn't bolt together. It just I don't know. It's just a little cheaper. Probably costs less too. And then the other thing is, like, why? Were we getting a little water down the flue? Who cares? Look at the chimney. The water wrecks the chimney. Who cares about the flue? Look at this chimney, is blown apart. Every bit of water that comes down that hits the top of this cap, 100% of the water lands on this chimney. And it's continued to destroy it. So this is on every job. Before I start, I'll always look at stuff and try to figure out what the other guy did and ask questions. Always ask questions. Always ask why was this done. It'll make you a lot better at troubleshooting if you do that, rather than just like rip it down and wonder later. Let's look at it for a couple minutes first and see what's going on with it. This mortar, it really didn't get a good bond with the brick, did it? So I wonder if the lime content in this mortar just wasn't very strong. Like, it didn't have a lot of lime, so it didn't get that initial bond it needed. Maybe these brick dried so fast that just sucked the moisture out of this Portland-based mortar. When you have Portland, it wants to lose that water. Portland-based mortar does not want to hold water. It wants to lose it inside of a dry brick like that. So the more lime you put in, the more water retention it will have naturally. A lime mortar, like an old-fashioned lime mortar, will want to retain water. As it won't want to lose water like a Portland-based mortar. So if you laid this with lime mortar, like quicklime, mixed up some quicklime and made mortar with it, it would hold the water. Portland-based mortar doesn't hold water. It wants to release it into the brick and be done with it. And that obviously really affects the bond, because look, we have a clean break on either side, and it looks like all the it's cracked on both sides of the joint. So we we really didn't get any adhesion between the brick and the mortar. And this mortar just seems to be like pretty strong. Probably it's got to be stronger than the brick, I would think. But obviously it doesn't breathe. It's not letting water get out. It's not leaching water out the mortar for sure. So yeah, we've just broken bond everywhere, and the chimney is completely busted up and compromised. Has the crown wash on top is just a skim coat, and you know, this stuff, look at on top of this brick, that's your crown wash. It's just not much. So we're letting a lot of water in there, and we know that water destroys stuff. This is in the Northeast, so water is going to destroy everything when it gets in there and freezes. And keep in mind, you know, when water gets in there, it can't get out. How would it get out? It's just a dark, damp place. Like, it doesn't get ventilation the way this is built. The way modern chimneys are built, they don't get ventilation. So when water gets in there, how does it get out? That mortar doesn't want to let it out. You know, the mortar's not breathable. So, I mean, we just grow. We have all this moss growing. We have tree roots growing in here. Moss is a really good indication that we're holding moisture. So, I don't know. We'll get on with it and see what we can find with this, and see if we can learn any lessons. All right, caps off. I've seen this trick before. You at the end of the job, you realize you don't have enough flue. You don't have enough flue to make it the whole way. So what do? You put a couple courses of brick, and then you put the flue pieces on top. We're getting into it, and we're finding out why this chimney's all blowing apart. You can see that the moisture is all still in here, and it doesn't take long. It's drying up as we go. But this is like this is a rubble chimney, and basically this is your grandpa or whoever, the old man that's always said, back in my day, we used to fill everything solid. Well, this is what happens when you fill everything solid. The water builds up in here, and it can't go anywhere. It can't ventilate. It doesn't get air. And it pushes on this outside wall of brick here. So imagine this water in the wintertime. It's not just ice. It looks like the inside of an old chest freezer if you rip it apart. Like it builds outward, and it pushes. So, you know, that would be all the way through here. If this was all wet, it would look like an old chest freezer, and it would push on this. And then that coupled with these brick aren't bonded at all. Even in the frog, it's just, I mean, we've got the whole name printed here. We could take this thing apart by hand, basically. Yeah, so look, they've just stacked up a whole bunch of rubble. I've got some brand new brick here. Look at these. Brand new brick, unused. Oh, geez. Those ones look like Glengarry brick. Look at that one. That's definitely a Glengarry brick, isn't it? I just want to point out, for people that don't know, this is called a frog, okay? Some people are of the opinion that the frog goes downward, okay? And other people are of the opinion that the frog goes up when you lay it. When I lay them with the frog facing up, right? This guy laid them all with the frog facing down. And you can see, when you do that, sometimes it leaves little pockets in here. Like this guy didn't get a full bed joint, right? So there's a pocket in here, and then there's a little pocket here. Had he got a full joint, you would see this whole entire engraving in the back, but you can see the pocket. That is not the reason why this chimney is not bonding together at all. It's an adhesion problem, and it's not a frog up, frog down problem. Like I said, I lay them with the frog up. For me, that makes more sense. I know that when I bed my brick, I'll have a nice consistent bed joint. I'll be able to bed it easier, and I know that my frog will get full every time because I'm putting the mortar on the top, and it has no choice but to be completely full. Obviously, there's no divider walls. You got 3 flues all back to back to back here, which isn't a good idea. I don't know why, with the chimney, with all this room, that they would put them like that. And, you know, they had no intention of leaving it hollow. They filled it with block and rubble and everything. I don't know why they wouldn't put a divider wall in there, but Yeah, so going. I'm gonna try to get something between these, or I don't know. But when I get these flues below the roof, I'm gonna put some new flues in, I guess, and I'll try to angle them out apart down here, I suppose, to try to get some gap between them. I don't know what I'll get for a divider wall between them, but I should try to do something, I think. Okay, we're starting to get down to the roof level, and we just have a little bit left to do, but interesting, every time we find a turn on the flues, you can see that they use the brick as a flue, and then they try to change direction with the next one. Instead of cutting the flue, they just try to do it with the brick, and they built up with brick and then set the flue here. Brick here are just, I don't know if you can hear it, but they're so, down here they're so dry. They are so dry. If you laid these brick, the moisture would be gone in a second. Like, I can just feel, it's like picking up the desert. Although, you know, a porous dry brick is fine. It's fine to lay. As far as durability goes, it seems like these brick are very good brick. And the more, you know, the more I see these really dry, porous, soft brick, the more I deal with them, the more I realize that they're actually better than water-struck brick. These ones can breathe a little bit. Yeah, they'll absorb water, but they dry real quick too. Water-struck brick, they don't dry very quick. They'll get wet. Water-struck brick will get wet, and then it takes forever for it to dry. But I just think more and more, as the more I see, breathability is one of the most important things in masonry, especially in chimneys. The ability for the brick to breathe, and the ability for the mortar to breathe as well after it dries, to have the ability to let water out instead of hold water in, where water can do damage when it freezes.
What?
Should we call it quits?
I'm ready to call it quits. Gotta get home and run, eat dinner, do some schoolwork, clean my car, put some oil in my car. Go to school in the summer.
What do you have schoolwork in the summer?
Because my coach is paying for all my schoolwork, for my college credits, so I might as well do it.
Okay, go help him lower that stuff down. All right, we're just wrapping up for the day. This is where we're gonna leave it. This block work is absolute straight garbage. It's just, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This guy, this is garbage. I mean, we've got the brick down, and look at I don't know if you can appreciate that, but that is hard to do. This is hard to do. Anyhow, yeah, this is where we're stopping. We're gonna start brick on top of that block, obviously on a huge bed of mortar to try to get it all leveled out. This is as far as we're going, and we're obviously not ripping down this whole thing to the basement and redoing it. We're just doing from the roof up, so we're just gonna do the best we can up here. So we're gonna pull all the lead and shingles in the morning. You can see how that step flashing gets cut like that when this lead gets too close to the roof. So we're gonna pull all that back, and we're gonna get nice new flashing and some nice ice and water shield in there. We're not gonna put back this stuff that you can just tear. I mean, this is all tore up here. Shouldn't be able to tear ice and water shield. It's cheap stuff. Yeah, we got to go get material in the morning, which is over an hour to drive, an hour and a half from here. We're gonna go get a bunch of material, a bunch of brick. Homeowners picked out the brick today, so we are gonna start laying tomorrow. Just in case anybody's curious how we leave something like this for the night, just have this reinforced poly that we use for building shelters with in the wintertime. Just a scrap piece here, and I always leave one side, like especially if I have staging on both sides of the roof, I know I can get it watertight pretty easy without even nailing into the roof. Just one side low, one side high. This is the boiler flue, it has to run, so I just put it on temporarily onto the flue below it. I've just got it taped on, and this reinforced poly is wedged right on there to keep the water out, and it still pitches, and this should pretty much keep everything out and do pretty good unless we get some really high winds. Then we'll start shaking stuff around, but the forecast looks good, so.
I've done it.
You got it, champ?
I've walked up the ladder with 3 of them.
The ladder's not in the way. Oh my gosh. This kid is reckless.
I don't know where to put them.
You get no points for finesse.
There's no room.
All right, this is where we're starting off. Just got all the aluminum stuff flashing out of here, out of the way. I'm not gonna pull the shingles yet just because we're getting a late start today. I have no idea how far I'm gonna get. I just wanna make it easier to make watertight if we have, when we leave later. It's already almost lunchtime. We had a couple hours worth of getting material and getting them out of the truck and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's almost lunchtime. It's like it's crazy. We're way behind. But anyhow, it is super hot. Like I don't know if you can see the sweat coming off my own arms, but nobody makes me sweat like that. The attic is just venting like crazy. It is hot right here. This space where I'm gonna be working is so hot. It's gotta be about 90 degrees up here right now. And whatever's coming out of that attic is just, I mean, it's hot. So something else we gotta deal with today. We're gonna get the canopy set up on here, on the staging, and try to catch a little bit of shade. Now that the sun's getting straight up, we should be able to catch some shade, and we're gonna start building on this wreck of a chimney. I don't know if you can tell it, but this is definitely the chimney that Dr. Seuss built. I mean, this is some rough stuff, like. And then we got to get these flues sorted, so got a lot of work to do. Boys are just getting some mud coming up right now. We just got a few brick over there on the staging. We're gonna start getting them over here so I can start lining them up. I'm sure it's gonna be a chore trying to square this thing up and get these brick level to come out. Jeez. Okay, so we were gonna try to make room in the chimney here for a divider wall, and I started shifting some of these flues to see what I could do with it, but man, I just can't get enough room in here to put a divider wall. There's not even enough space between here and here to get anything this way. Maybe I could do something right here, but what's the point? Yeah, so I kicked this one over at an angle, and now I'm back to, level at the top, so the next one will go straight off of it. This one's almost there, this one's almost there. They're leaning a bit. But yeah, I just, sometimes when you're doing this stuff, you just do the best you can, and I just can't do much with this. The way it's laid out, these flues, had they thought about it ahead of time and turned these flues the other way, there'd probably be more than enough room in here. Even if this one was just turned this way, which would have been easy enough to do from down bottom on top of the smoke chamber. They could have just changed the shape of their smoke chamber a bit and had this flue come up the other way, but every time I start filming, someone turns on a siren or a leaf blower. Just keep going. I built these corners up yesterday. Just had enough mortar to build these up so I could put these profiles on. So now I've got my my brick ruler here, and I've just marked them out. These brick I know are going to go pretty good on 4s. So I mark it on 4 the whole way. So you can see there's a 4 here. There's a lot of numbers on here. It's kind of confusing. But as you come down here, you know, my last mark is like, you know, right here. So 4, and I know that I have 17 courses of brick on 4s. So that's what I'm going to do here. And instead of marking each one of these individual, I can just mark one, and then now I'm going to come down with my square along, you know, and I can just, rather than set them first, because you could set each corner and then measure them up individually, but you know, this is just, anytime you can save a little bit of time by doing something like this, it's going to work out better. We're set up now. It's super hot today. It's like 90 degrees up here. We just got everything set up, laid a couple bricks, so we have these profiles in. We've got nicely marked up and the dory blocks on, and you can see this line goes around every side. So we have no more stick work until we get up to the very top of this, which is nice. It's a lot more efficient to do it like this. It stays very true. These holes are very plumb. They go up like a laser. We can't mess them up. So just put them on with these. These are F clamps, and these are some other type of profile clamp. I don't know. These ones I had to hand bend because they were too long before, so I hand bent those ones. I really like the F clamp, so I'll probably buy a couple more of those. And they just go in the mortar joint for now, and we're gonna have to fill them up, you know, afterwards. Last night before we left, I just took with my flat joiner and scraped out some of the joints where I thought they would go. And so now we're all set up, ready to go. We even got the shelter on here. The tarp, we just got out of the sun because we were baking. So the nice part about this setup is today, like, this is a perfect setup for someone to learn on. So every job, for some reason, it doesn't matter what job we're on. I feel like we're always rushing through it to get to the next job or whatever. But today's going to be a little different. We're going to slow down a little bit, and we're going to see if we can teach monkeys how to lay brick. So Landon's over there. He's already got that brick. He just put that brick on. It's already a mile low. I can see it from here. He missed the line by a mile. He's rolling towards the back, like a lot. Not enough mud under it. So I'm going to sit back and see if I can teach these boys a little technique on how to lay brick. You know, when I learned, I didn't really have a mentor, so I just, you know, grabbed the trowel and did what I could, and then people would laugh at me and point at me and tell me my brickwork sucked. So I'm going to see if I can teach these boys a little technique and see if I can get them to lay some straight brick. Landon, how many brick do you figure you've laid in your life now?
Probably about like anywhere from 50 to 60.
50 years. He's laid 50 or 60 brick, so he's brand new.
I've laid at least 8 today, and there's one job where I got like 25 or 30 in, but every time it's just here and there.
Yeah.
Last year I laid a total of like less than 10 brick, maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah. Well, you know, every job's a rush, so we never get the boys never get a chance to do anything. They're always doing their thing, and I'm trying to rush through and get the chimney done. So, you know, we're always in a rush. Today's another rush, but you know, Ben, what are you looking at, by the way? You're watching him. You're supposed to. You're the camera dude. Come on. So today, we're not going to rush. We're always in a rush. We're busy. It's our busy season. We're trying to get to the next job. But sometimes you just gotta say, who cares? It's time for the boys to learn how to lay brick. Landon's 20 years old now, and this is on camera, bro. You're a ½ inch off that pole. What are you doing? Hold on. Don't start laying brick until I come over to show you technique, for crying out loud.
That one's premium.
All right, so they don't know how to lay brick. When I was 20 years old, I was pretty good at laying brick already. Granted, we come from different worlds, so I had to learn early how to do this type of stuff. So
We're the Fortnite generation.
they're the Fortnite generation, the TikTok generation. They have an attention span of a gnat.
I saw that.
You just, good thing I have that whole roof covered over there. Are you pulling out? Don't, oh my gosh. Keep your towels clean, keep the stuff clean. Anyhow, they're getting ahead of themselves. I'm gonna try to teach these monkeys how to lay brick. Both of them. Payne, have you ever laid brick?
0.
Not even one?
No.
Never even tried. All right, well, we're gonna see who's better at it.
Probably pay him. He has a lower IQ, so usually that works in favor of good bricklayers. Did you stop recording?
No.
You have a lower IQ.
Yeah, I do.
Do you think you can lay brick better?
Probably.
Why?
He doesn't think about it. He just does. That's what you've been saying about Peyton this entire year, dude.
Well, Peyton's a doer. You're a thinker. Right, Peyton? When something needs to get done, Peyton just does it.
This is why I'm
When something needs to get done, Landon thinks about, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How's this going to get done? How can I do this myself?
You got to do it the most sufficiently efficient way.
Oh my God. Your IQ is outstanding.
Peyton doesn't even know the difference between the
Peyton.
back and the front of the. He's icing it up like a pancake, dude.
Peyton, where are you going with that brick, dude?
What do you mean?
Where are you going? You going to go up against... Oh my word. All
You
right.
can see we don't watch him lay brick.
It's amazing how many brick I've laid around you guys, and you have never even watched me one time. Peyton, what have you done?
What do you mean?
What are you doing?
What do you mean? I don't know.
This reminds me of that commenter that said, "You're a good man, Chad, for hiring the handicap."
Dude, that guy doesn't know how to lay a brick. Come on.
At least he knows handicap when he sees it.
That guy knows how to eat potato chips. That was a good comment, though. I'll give him that. Gave me a good laugh.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay,
wrong.
just stop. Put it back. Put it. You're not going anywhere near my chimney with that brick, dude. What have you done? What have you done? Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I mean, put it on.
Have you ever watched me lay a brick one time?
Yeah.
Wait, how do you not know how I lay brick
I
then?
did the same thing, dude. I thought you iced it up, too. You laid the path. You come back.
Lay the path.
Boom. Smear this brick. Need some more mud in there.
It's because I only watch the reels.
The reels?
Yeah.
Because you're the TikTok generation?
No, your reels.
I don't have reels.
Yeah, you do. The one,
The shorts.
the shorts. I don't watch.
not reels,
I don't watch reels. The shorts.
You're literally in the videos, but you don't watch them.
I watch the parts with me in it.
He sends them to his girls. Yeah, I'm YouTube famous now.
I'm actually going to teach you guys how to lay brick. Instead of watch you fail, I'm going to show you some techniques, and then we'll come back to
These
it.
are 3 brick that are at CV masonry standard right here.
That mud's about to fall down that flue, so cut it off. We're going to start laying bricks. So pay attention. Your mud has to be decent. That's the first thing, okay? You can't, the mud on your board over there, how it's all crumbly like that, not ideal for laying brick, right? So now look back here. This mud is smoother, right? This mud could actually use a little bit more water. I'm gonna lay with it because it's what I have, but it could be a little damper than this, okay? Because when I lay brick, I'm laying with my hands, okay? And these brick, they start to warm up during the day, and they kind of get hot sometimes, and the mortar starts to warm up, and they kind of slow down as you're laying them. They kind of start to set already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mud has to be decent because you're laying with your hand. Okay, we're gonna start by picking up a brick and mud. So when you turn around, you're grabbing both. Yeah.
Okay.
We can't spread the whole wall because our mud is straight garbage in the U.S. and this stuff will set up. So you have to work your tail off to stay ahead of it. That mud that you have that's already spread is already set up too much to like lay a brick on it, probably. Okay.
Yeah, well, the only reason I do this is because I see all the guys in the UK on my YouTube videos.
Yeah, but their mud they have totally different mud than us. Our mortar sets up so fast. They have so much retardant in their mud. They could spread the wall and wait 20 minutes and lay brick on it. You literally have like 30 seconds to lay a brick before it's rocked up. Before here, you have like 30 seconds to get your brick laid. Okay?
Right.
Which is a lot of time, but you can't spread the wall here. You just can't. Not with the mud that we have. Not on a 90-degree day. Okay, so one brick, one trowel of mud. I'm gonna start by doing this. I always push a little bit to the side, okay? I don't just usually reach into it because then it ends up being like an awkward amount. What I wanna do is get a decent amount, okay? I don't cover my whole trowel. Do you see this much? And with the 3-hole brick, it'll be more than a normal cord brick, like a 10-hole brick, okay?
Yeah.
It'll be more. So you need to grab, if you grab this much mortar and you feel it, you feel the difference. I know that I grab this and I can't lay this brick with this amount of mud, right? So if I feel it and I did it wrong, just go back, get a heftier amount. Yeah?
Okay.
Just like that. So we're gonna go at the same time. Yeah?
All right.
Brick, mortar, here we go. I'm here. So I've thrown it on there, and the corner here I'm gonna have to take a little bit of care because I've got the profile here, but you want to kind of furrow this mortar joint out, and you do that because you need to get mortar to the edge of the brick. Yeah.
Okay.
If the mortar doesn't come to the edge of the brick, you will have a void when you put the brick down, and you'll have to fill it in with your joiner. Okay. When I lay this brick, I cannot lay it out here. Okay. This profile dictates where my brick has to be. Okay. And you're gonna clean off your trowel in between. Your trowel has to keep clean. We can't have junk all over it. The brick has to start above on the corner. Okay. It's gonna go into the profile flat, not twisted, flat against the profile, and then flat against the dory block. Okay. And then we're gonna use our hand and try to get it down. But so this is going to be the one spot where it's like, okay, we might want to tap on our brick a little bit. Yeah. Because it's an awkward position to just lay it down with your hand. And as the mud comes out, just kind of clean it with the tip of your trowel at an angle. Okay. And we're just going to lay to the top of the line. And I can see from back here that that's the top of the line. And I can feel that I am square against my dory block. So now I'm going to look here at my joint here. Right? And just see how it is. And I'm going to look here and make sure I have space between the line. Okay? Just a little hair of space between the line. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's that brick. That's the hardest brick that you're going to lay here is the one against the profile. Even though that being said, laying with profiles is way easier than laying and trying to plumb everything up with a level. Okay, look at all the plumb points that we have to do every course.
Yeah.
And this mud sets up so fast that it's hard. You have to work fast for it. So these allow us to slow down if we want. You know, we won't have to work as hard to get to the same place. So the next brick, okay, same thing. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna do the same thing. Grab a decent amount of mud. I'm coming at the same time. I've got both of them. You can do it from over the line or under the line. And you can furrow it in different ways. You can do this, like that, to bring it to the front, right?
Yeah.
And then cut that mud back. Yeah?
Okay.
We can't just leave that mud hanging everywhere, so we'll cut it back. And before I went there, I should have just mudded this brick here at my mud board before I went anywhere, and I didn't. So when you bring this one in, we're not going down with it. We're gonna bring it into this other brick. Yeah?
Yeah.
We're just gonna do that by kind of manipulating it with your hand. Okay? A little wiggle, right? And then when you lay it, you don't want your hand on one side of it. You want your hand spread thoroughly or throughout the brick, so you can just kind of massage it down, right? And you can put your hand on it however you want. Everybody kind of holds it a little different. When you're at a different angle or whatever, cut that joint nice and clean as you go, right? Just to the top of the line, okay? I am not gonna take and build all the way to this side, okay? All the way over. This won't be the last brick I lay.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm gonna lay this brick like this.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want to get all the way to the end over there.
Skinny joint.
Look, yeah, because you've got this one here, right? And your joints might be too fat, right?
Yeah.
So let's not start like that. Let's just, we've got those two set. Now let's just come back to this side here. Okay? Again, it's a little awkward because of the dory block, but I have this little spot that there's a void there, right? This void won't fill if I put my brick on top. So just pull the mud a little bit more. Okay? We're gonna try to go right down this, but if it'll let us. Yeah. So this one, sometimes you have to tap with your trowel because it's just in a weird spot. I'm not a huge fan of tapping with the trowel, but when you're up against something like that, you kind of have to. You see how like the mud's just not, it's not kind of soft enough to get it down. And so remember, you want it just to the top of the line. Ah, there's a rock in there. If it's to the bottom of the line, it's too low. Check the brick as you're laying them to make sure you're laying good brick.
So it's supposed to be at the top of the line?
Top of the line, yep.
Not at the bottom.
Not at the bottom, look.
Alright.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna set my mortar joint where I want my mortar joint, right? And then I'm gonna come down. Profile clamp in the way. And I'm just gonna wiggle it, okay? Cut the bottom as you go. Make sure you're at the top of the line, okay? And then watch the brick next to you and see what you're doing, okay? You can see if you're lipping a little bit. If you're rolling a little bit, this one gets the double mud because it's a closure brick, okay? Yeah, see, this mud is just a little stiff for me. It makes it a little bit harder to deal with. It's actually much looser than the mud you're using, but it's still stiff for me. Okay, so double mud. We're gonna come back and mud both of these sides. If you get mud on the line, clean it up before you go there. If you have mud on your trowel, clean it up. So double mud, and we're gonna drop it in. Okay, and we're gonna check our head joints and make sure our head joints are even. So the first cut is just to clean the brick. Landon. The first cut when I cut the mud joint is just to clean it so I can see what's going on.
Yeah.
To see where the bottom of my brick is, right? And I see that the mortar joint's a little bit off, so I can cheat this one over. And if you end up pulling one of the mortar joints over to make them more consistent, then you got to make sure you fill it up. Peyton, are you understanding?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can just take as much time as you want to make sure that you're straight and that your bottom of your brick isn't lipping, right? When you see people do this with their trowel, Landon, when you see people do this with their trowel, if you ever watch at the bottom, they're pushing on that brick, okay, with the bottom of their trowel, and they're making sure it's not, you know, some people, I think some people don't see very well. Like they don't have, like if people that normally would wear glasses, they don't have the depth perception and they can't see where their brick is. You see some people cut like that, and it just helps to push that brick back into place, okay? And then you look at the top after that and make sure your top is right where it's supposed to be. You cannot crowd the line. So if you put a piece of brick on the line, it will eventually build it out and out and out. You have to have a gap, okay? Hey, and do you think that you could do a course of brick now? Do you have a better idea how to lay a brick now?
Yeah, I have a better idea. You have to have a gap right here in between the brick.
Yes, right here. Yeah, right between the line and the brick. We're gonna have just enough of a gap, like the width of a trowel. And so you can take this, if you just take the line and do this, you see how it vibrates like that?
Yeah.
See how you can see the energy in the line?
Yeah.
That's how you know. When you pluck it and see the energy in it, that's how you know nothing's on it. If you pluck that line and it does nothing and it stops right away dead, then you know something's touching the line. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're gonna try to lay a couple brick there. Yeah?
All right.
Okay, so using what you've just learned, we're gonna lay this closure brick here. Okay?
All right, sounds good.
This brick here is a closure brick. What's special about this brick?
Well, you need to put it in on the inside here.
Ooh.
Big
Okay.
furrows. Mud this side. This side. Cut a little bit.
Cut that excess off. Make sure you keep your trowel clean as you go. Okay, get the backside too, because you got a whole bunch gonna fall off when you lay that brick. You gotta angle that trowel. Okay, let's see it.
Can I mud this?
Stop! Stop going around that brick, dude. What are you doing?
Dude, I want to make it look good for the camera.
It looks bad for the camera. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my God. All right. We'll have to work on that.
Oh, I'm trying it.
Well, you got way too much mud on there because that joint shouldn't be that big. No, just flatten it out a little bit. Take your trowel and flat. No, don't.
What do you mean?
All right. No, that's fine. Go ahead. Go lay it. You get your trowel clean. Bang it off just a couple times before you start smearing brick with it. Get your thumb off the line. Finesse. Hold on. Stop.
Yeah.
Get that mud off your trowel and just clean up the mud here. Just quickly clean it up.
What?
Well, I mean, that's not cleaning it up. If you just no, yes. Now your eye can see how bad that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now this stuff is yeah. Okay, now you can see where it is.
Yeah. It's a lot better. Okay. Should probably tap it a little
No,
bit.
finesse, stop. Stop forcing it. Good. Stop. Cut the mud. Okay, just a little bit of finesse and a clean trowel. Obviously, we're gonna have to wash this one, but now let's look at this line and see where the brick is. I can see that the brick is high here compared to this one and this one, but this one might be a little bit out. Let's push that one in. Check what the line's doing.
Yeah, this one looks like it was fine.
It looks like it's fine.
It was fine.
Oh, it was.
Put that back.
Okay, so the one under it's rolling. So this one's just a little high in the corner. So you just give it little love taps. Okay, you can do it with your fingers if you want. Like that. We got space and we're kind of flush. Piece of cake.
Oh yeah.
A monkey could do it.
I mean, if that were the case, I'm sure you'd have plenty of them working for you.
I do. All right, so we're gonna move the dory blocks up now. Unscrew it, and you're just gonna move it up. They do get tight, so you're gonna have to move it, and you're gonna move it to that line, the top of the line that you see here is flush with the top of the Sharpie mark, okay? So make sure the line and the Sharpie, the top of it. Top of the line, top of the Sharpie mark. Peyton, are you gonna even move yours? It's a little tight, so loosen it up. Well, move it evenly. It's tight, there you go. Good? Okay, and all right, show everybody what you've learned today. All right, I just spotted the corners for him. He's been having a little trouble with the corners, which are a little tricky with everything in the way. So we're gonna see if he's learned anything. Just go ahead and scrape that trowel off, actually, on the board. Like just, there you go. Keep it light and clean if you can. This mud's a bit sticky, so it kind of is hard to keep your trowel clean. Wow, nice buttering job. Don't dig it in. Don't dig it in. Don't dig it in. Hold on. Tell me what you did there.
What?
Why were you digging it into the bed joint?
So the mud will go up?
Right, but you had already established your head joint here.
Yeah.
You know, so don't push down. This is pick and dip, right? Well, that's how I do it sometimes, but when you put your head joint on here, this is your head joint, right?
Okay.
So just establish your joint where you want it and then push it down. Don't dig any of the bed joint out, as you know, because now look, you've kind of dug a little bit out. I guess it's not so bad. But just establish your head joint and then it goes down. You don't have to dig it in. Is that one good?
Looks good.
That's a straight up dump truck. I can see it from here.
That's good now.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, it's such a line. It's good, yeah. What's wrong with it?
It's close. It's close. You got one end to the top of the line, one end to the bottom of the line, right? If you're just gonna have it close like that, just at least have it level and close. Don't have one end up, one end down, you know? So like if you missed it on this side, you were a little low to the line on this side, just go ahead and
Larry on it.
Larry on it. Hey, little high, let it fly. Little low, let it go. You ever hear that one?
No, but it sounds like
It doesn't fly on this job site, okay? No. Okay, your body efficiency is horrible.
What?
The way you use your body is not efficient. Okay, so now, hold on, stop. We're working in the same place. I'm going to show you how I would do
This
it.
is how I should be doing it. Not this
No,
way.
now watch. You film me for a second. We'll watch on camera what the difference is. Are you filming?
Yeah.
Okay, it's all about body movement, right? How you use your body. So you're laying this course like this, coming from this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just laid this brick here. My next job is to come here. From here, I come here, I grab this brick.
Mud it up.
Watch what my legs do, okay? Because this is very important, right? People don't think about their legs, okay? I've got everything before I've moved my body. I'm just pivoting on that left foot. Do you see?
Yeah.
So now I'm coming and I'm back here and I'm right where I need to be, okay? I've got everything mudded and now I'm going in and look what my body's done.
You only made one trip to the mud board.
Well, just look what my body's done. My body didn't move. I didn't spin in circles. Like I didn't walk around. Okay, so it's all, if you're here and you're laying straight in front, that's fine. But footwork is important in bricklaying too, because you'll wear yourself out turning circles, and then when you're doing circles, you're going slow. You're not laying efficient, right? Same from this side. If I want to lay from this side, right, I'm going to keep my foot here, and I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to come back.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So footwork and where your hip, like positioning of your hips. People don't think about it, but it's actually pretty important. That's why some guys look really smooth and fast when they're doing it, right? I have to do all that stuff because I've never been a fast bricklayer. Like, I've worked with a lot of guys that were fast, and when I was younger, I thought that maybe one day I would be a fast bricklayer. But then I realized I don't care about being fast. I've never... It's always been about quality. Like, to go fast, a lot of times you sacrifice quality. But for me, efficiency is important, not being fast. So the least amount of body movements to lay that brick. Does that make sense? So next brick you lay, use less body movements.
Okay.